from Memphis, and it's our first time in Jackson, and we're really happy to be here in Martin, so thank y'all for joining us. Yeah! And we're going to keep kicking it for you, so thanks for coming out, and please stay with us.
I do feel pressured sometimes now because for years I've bitched about how horrible music has become, like even especially on the radio, but you know, even not that, like there's none of the, it seems like groundbreaking acts. And then now, like I think my dad made a point. He's like, well, now you're part of that scene.
Yeah.
You know, you better, now's your chance, you know. So like every time you get on stage, you gotta be just trying to make something of it. When we're like working and like, you know, doing like working on a song, playing it 5, you know, fucking however many times in a row, and like that aspect of it, that's, you know, not really for me. That's so that other people won't just hate themselves for coming to see us play. Yeah. You know, there's so many people who have preconceptions about you if you say anything about that. Yeah. Like especially when we first got started, it'd be like Rhodes Band. Like I remember, I think it was Neil's or even like our first, they advertised it like Rhodes Band. Energy Day, or it was like, you know, maybe still Heacock and
come steal their cars.
Yeah, or whatever. There'll be a lot of peanuts.
Piece of shit. You're not gonna have to pay for that much money again. Like kicked me in the junk when they told me that. 260. Oh! That's most of the money. Alright. I gave Dan like 200 to pay him back, some for the amp.
Yeah. It's gonna be a fun show tonight. I got big expectations.
Sturdy.
Action.
And so for a while there, you know, we would totally depend on the Rhodes crowd. And then after a while, when we started booking gigs not based on whether school was in or, you know, whether it was 18 or up, and we still were getting people, then it kind of like fades.
And we've gotten lucky because Rhodes got us a lot of our street cred.
Seems like we have a real stage and everything.
Yeah, dude.
That's always a good sign.
It looks pretty cool. It's a little, it's a deceptively a little bit smaller.
I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, I definitely was like, fuck.
But once you get established, we get considered for gigs here just because we're the only young jam band type jazz people that are around. Whereas if we were in the Northeast, we wouldn't even get a nod probably because there's so many other people. People are out in a public place like that. They're there to hear something they recognize. You know, they're not there to like expand their musical knowledge.
And I mean, it just you know, it's like, yeah, you're gonna make mistakes. And, you know, it's not all gonna be within like the confines of what you exactly want it to be, but and so it's weird. You don't want to feel like, you know, you're some song factory that's just, you know, trying to like please the public.
I mean, I feel like we write songs based on more like, you know, what we all individually would like to hear, what our own tastes are, and it's like that's all fine and good, but you get nervous when you go in front of people because it's like, well, I've written this thing. What if, you know, people don't dance? What if they just kind of stare at you? It's
like there is no coast gig, or there is no like, oh, okay, well, this doesn't really matter. It's like you're at the point where every show is the most important show. But traveling, you know, is a really cool thing in that you find people in venues that really, they want to hear your type of music, and they have people there that want to hear your type of music, and it's not like just playing random spots in Midtown to where you're pushing it so hard yourself just to get, you know, the community together, you know, to which listens to your music, just to be there.
I mean, it's like at this point, there's almost so much less of a Rhodes turnout in comparison to our, like, just the Memphis following now that we don't really consider it as much. So I don't think we cater to, like, I don't know what the Rhodes music taste is. I mean, I don't spend a whole lot of time on campus anymore. But I mean, I assume people still listen to rap a lot and like generic country shit, like in the frat lot is like pretty much what you can expect to hear. So it's like I don't feel like the kids at Rhodes are necessarily completely wholeheartedly interested in what we're trying to do or what, you know, we're really about. I feel like we've got a more of an improvisational and experimental element to our group that's kind of different from
for
what
a
kids
while
at Rhodes
there.
listen to.
I think that's a big part of the band in general, is that we really try to keep it as fresh as we can.
To me, the band is an exercise in composition, and sometimes immediately you can see the change when you do a new lick that you weren't doing, and then all of a sudden like you see somebody like shaking a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
2 or 3 minutes will go by and you realize you're playing and you're not paying attention to like what you're playing or what's coming up next, or you're just doing it, you know, and like it's like probably the happiest I've ever been, like moments like that.
It's tough because like when you go to places like New Orleans and like you get done with the show and people come up to you and they're just like freaking out over what they just heard, and it's just like it's really different than the reactions, you know, we've been getting up here. So it like makes you think that there's something more out there. But I think, you know, for right now where we are, like the way I think of Gold, it's like, well, I just want to make another album, you know, another body of music, and then, you know, keep playing.